Let's talk about what is going on down south. So first responders are the unsung heroes after major natural disasters. They provide comfort and safety after mass devastation like what we saw last September in North Carolina. But we tend to forget the mental toll that it can take on first responders, especially if this happens in your own backyard. Responder Support Services is one agency that provides mental health support to first responders post-natural disasters like Hurricane Helene.
Rick Baker joins us this morning. He is the founder and executive director of Responder Support Services, or RSS. Rick, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox Weather.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, we are 8 months past Hurricane Helene, and for folks that were not directly impacted or didn't respond to the disaster firsthand, for them, life has returned to normal. But it has not returned to normal for many folks that live in North Carolina and individuals like yourself. So talk about the importance of having support for first responders.
Yeah, when something like this happens, a natural disaster, it's easy to forget that first responders are also victims of the same event. They're just not talking about it, and it's easy to forget that they're struggling and suffering the same way that the civilian population is struggling and suffering as well. So we have to keep that in mind, specifically for our first responders when a natural disaster occurs.
Yeah, it's very important. And Rick, in terms of the mental health and even just peer support that these first responders receive through your agency, what is that like? And also, how does it differ from other similar organizations?
We differ from other organizations in that my mental health clinicians, I have a team of 22 mental health clinicians, and we're embedded inside first responder agencies. So we're in super close proximity to them. We're in their house. And that allows us to deliver any kind of clinical or non-clinical intervention rapidly. And oftentimes that puts us in the field with first responders as we were before, during, and after Helene. We were out, walking through the water and the mud and devastation with our first responders. And so that proximity really facilitates rapid deployment of any kind of intervention that the first responders might need.
And Rick, first responders, you guys are cut from a different cloth, to be quite honest. What has inspired you to really get involved with this group?
Really, what inspired me to determine this was the right group for me to work with clinically was earlier in my career when I owned a mental health practice that was not first responder focused. Some first responders came to me for treatment, and I was struck by the displays of gratitude compared to civilians that I work with. Responders are just so willing to express their gratitude when you help them, and that just really struck my heart. And then kind of prompted me to really develop a practice that is devoted exclusively to first responders, and that's was one of the prime motivators for developing Responder Support Services.
It's such an important cause. And Rick, we see that you're, of course, in Asheville, North Carolina, so this is in your own backyard. Talking about Hurricane Helene, what were some of the biggest challenges that your team faced in supporting those first responders there?
One of the biggest challenges we faced in being able to deliver help to the first responders is they were operational for so long with the storm where they didn't have a whole lot of time to sort of downshift and receive the mental health services. So what we ended up doing is we ended up working alongside them in the field and just delivering the power of presence and standing next to them, loading helicopters with relief supplies with them. We were slicing tomatoes at feeding stations, and we were out standing next to them as they were doing body recoveries. So until they could slow down, we were just trying to maintain that constant presence for them.
And such a challenge when you are literally rising to the occasion of something that hasn't been seen, that changes the landscape. Thank you so much for what you do, for the commitment that you have. Responder Support Services founder Rick Baker, we wish you our best as you guys continue to push forward in recovery.
Thank you for focusing on first responder mental health on your show.
We appreciate you.